Okay, blessed are you, Yahweh Elohim, King of the universe, sanctified us in the Messiah, Yeshua, and has commanded us to engross ourselves in the study of your word, the Torah. Guide us to the Ruach HaKodesh, that we may be enlightened, be guided, and be given instructions on how to sanctify our walk through the Messiah, Yeshua. Everybody say Amen. Amen. So, this is a continuous lesson on the topic we did last time, which is uh, the establishment of elders and the principle of council of elders, courts, judges. So, hindi na po ito basic level, no? Kasi inaalam na natin yung mga procedures, and we started with binding and loosing, which means the keys of the kingdom, which was given to Apostle Peter to unlock really the authority to impose, and to restrict, and to allow mga halakha, yung mga way of life, mga uh, patakaran sa Messianic churches in the first century and until the second century yon, na-influence nila yon. So, to those of you who are pretty new sa mga teaching dito, advanced lesson na po ito. So, you review mga basic teaching ko sa YouTube. Okay? My YouTube channel, dalawa po yung YouTube channel ko. Yung isa Brother Ike, yung isa Torah Bible School. So, today, we're going to continue yung judges and officers. Pero at the same time, we put in uh, which is, the basic New Testament teaching on the Torah, which is law or grace, or law and grace. Uh, the goal of the study is to dispel misconceptions surrounding the concept of law and grace. So we have learned that in the first century, there was no Christian churches. Right? Marami na lang magagalit kay Brother Knight. Wala pong Baptist, wala pong Evangelical, wala pong Pentecostal churches. In the first century, it was the synagogue, was the center of worship, the center of the Beit HaMidrash, the house of study. It's the center of meeting place. It's a community among the Jewish community. And ang in-study natin ngayon, and how can the synagogue be the house of law, the house of Torah, which acts as a court deciding religious matters, applications sa mga day-to-day life ng mga believers in the first century. So the principle we're using is Acts 20 verse 27, the whole counsel of Yahweh. So pag sinabing all, ang buong kapasyahan ng Diyos, it includes the Torah, of course. Kasi kung wala yung Torah, hindi na buo. So we believe that the Bible that Yeshua used was the Torah. He does not have the King James Version. He does not have the New Living Bible. He does not have the NIV version. Yeshua taught from the scroll of the Torah. In fact, in his first sermon in Luke chapter 4, he uses the scroll. Kasi back then, there was no books. There's only scroll. Scrolls are made of skins ng sheep. Skin ng mga karnero, no? So, the Torah was the lifestyle of the first century. You don't have to repeat that because it's been ongoing for 2,000 years. Kaya nga, it never occurred sa mind ng Hudyo na wala ng Torah. Pag sinabi mo wala ng Torah, para bang sa Hudyo, para bang impossible yan? Siguro, ang nagsasabi lang wala ng Torah, ang mga walang pinag-aralan sa Torah. Yung mga hindi nag-aral ng Torah. Palibasa, hindi nag-aral, hindi alam. Ang mahirap yan, hindi pa nila alam na hindi pa nila alam. They don't know that they don't know. So they assume they know. So let me ask you a question. How did we get to the point today that we can view the Torah as an oppressive law or something negative? But to the Jewish people, that's why they call the people of the book. The Torah is guidance, teaching, and instruction. The commandments in the Torah in the form of law, ordinances, statutes, my ceremonial law, everything that are given to teach and disciple his disciples. Kumbaga, yung Torah is their daily meditation. In fact, the greatest commandment is Shema Israel, love God with all your heart. Then, sa Joshua 1:8, meditate on the Torah day and night so that you may be careful to do, not just to believe, to do everything that is written therein. Everything. Hindi something or several things or nothing. It's everything that is written there, and you shall make your way prosperous spiritually and successful materially. In fact, I heard that quotation many times in the Christian churches. I heard that in Bible study. But I never heard it explained. Hindi ko narinig na piniliwanag ng mga pastor na maigi yan. Kasi kung pinaliwanag nila, they would be keeping the Sabbath. They would be believing in the Ten Commandments. So what's the issue now? In fact, sabi ni Rabbi Messer, sabi ito si Rabbi Messer, yung author ng book, Torah, Law, and Grace, sinabi niya, the Torah is your daily habits. Tinawag niya ang mitzvot na habits. Yung bang mga day-to-day mong gawain, like, di ba, sabi ko, I agree, kasi, di ba, yung kosher dietary law is daily. Di ba? Yung Shema is daily. Paglabas mo ng pintuan, it's daily. Pagdating mo sa labas, may toksod, it's all daily. So it reminds me of this saying by, sabi nila, si Mahatma Gandhi daw nagsabi nito. Keep your thoughts positive because your thoughts becomes your words becomes your behavior becomes your habits becomes your values become your destiny. Kaya lang, it started with the thoughts or ideas or belief system or sa atin pa, your faith. Your faith become your thoughts, your beliefs become who you are, it became your words, it became your what you do, and now it becomes habitual, then it determines your destiny. Kaya ang destiny ng Christian sa langit. Ang destiny ng mga naniniwalang mga Mesianic ay sa lupa. Magkahiwalay po sila ng landas. Pero gusto ko po magbakasyon sa langit. Sasama ako sa kanila sandali. Sa rapture. 7 years. Pasensya na po kayo. Rapture na ako. Babalik ako after 7 years. Di po. Joke lang po yun. Sakyan mo naman kasi konti si pastor. Okay? Galit sa iyo. Tumanggap po ako ng invitation sa isang event ng mga pastor. 300 daw yung na leader sa buong Pilipinas. Sabi ko, punta ba ako? Punta. Tinignan ko. Huwag na lang. Tsaka na namin pag-usapan mamaya sa council. Kaya marami pong so, Torah is guidance, teachings, instruction. No? So, yung concept na di ba, kung magulang ka, normal sa'yo, ginaguide mo yung anak mo araw-araw. Anak. Ewan ko, ako gano'n ako kay Moshe eh. So, ang mahirap yung guide yung asawa, kaya ikaw ang gusto niya i-guide. Just, igugot na naman. Andiyan ka kasi nakaupo, dapat medyo atras ka konti. Tatamaan ka na itong crossfire, oh. Ha? Dapat may shield ka dito para... Okay lang. Dito po yan. Ang babae, meron silang sarili din po silang way of thinking, which up till now, it's a mystery. Sabi ko nga, marriage is a mystery. I don't know how I survived 27 years of marriage. Sabi ko, it's a mystery. Pag malalim ka na sa marriage life, maintindihan mo yan, bakit mystery? Sabi, hindi pa kayo malalim. So, Torah is a good word, no? In fact, it's a blessing. Torah is considered to be a blessing, no? Sa Israel, whenever you talk about Torah, yumuyuko yung mga Hudyo. Pag bumibili ako sa mga tindahan ng mga secular Jews, sabi, makita agad na hindi nga Hudyo eh. Sabi ko, why are you here? Sabi ko, I want to study Torah. Oh, that's very good. You give me discount, ha? Sabi niya, kamase ole. How did you know Hebrew? I study. How much is it? Kamishim. Sabi ko, Arbayim. Sabi ng Hudyo, your Hebrew is good, but I need cash. Original yan, original joke yan. So in the minds of the Jew, God's law is considered to be above human law. In fact, last night, I was studying the history of law until sa Greek from 50 BC until 500 years, until the 1st century, at the end of the 2nd century, by the end of the 5th century, nawala na yung mga Greeks, ang England nagsimula na sa law ng monarchy. So, hindi nagtagal, nung na-imprenta na yung King James Bible, lalo pong naging blessing po yun sa England at na-implement nila yung rule of law, which is divine law is above human law. Tapos ni-remodel. So ngayon, iba na. Kasi ang law na ay minumodify na. So but when it comes to the absoluteness of law, yes, we believe God's law is considered to be above human law. Because God is the creator of all things, including humans, and has the authority to dictate how humans should live. God's law is also considered to be based on love and intended to protect His people. God's law is based on love. God's law is not arbitrary, but rather a reflection of God's love and desire to protect His people. Pag sinabing arbitrary, it's not just by chance. It's parang nangyari lang. No, mayroon talaga siyang purpose. God's law is intended to guide people. God's law is intended to guide people and bless them, not to make their lives more difficult. God's law is a reflection of God's nature. God's law demonstrates God's holiness, justice, and goodness. God's law is the basis of faith. God's law is the description of how people should live if they believe in God, Elohim, trust in Elohim plan for their lives. God's law is authoritative. God's law is authoritative over all people. People should obey God's law when it conflicts with human law. The Torah is the first 5 books of the Hebrew Bible, contains laws and teachings that God gave to the Jewish people, including the 10 Commandments and other laws that govern food, relationship, clothing, religious practice, etc. Alam mo saan galing yan? Artificial intelligence. Marunong yung AI. Tinanong ko sa AI, Google, what is the difference between God's law and Torah? Ito po yung lumabas. Summarize. I agree. Ito na yung papasok na yung theology of the law kasi ang concern ng maraming Christian is we are in the New Testament. We live 2,000 years from after the death of Christ. So ang principle niyan, because of sinful nature, human race was born under the sinful nature. So you will probably hear, words like this. We are under grace, not under the law. Romans 6:14. For sin shall not have dominion over you, for you're not under law, but under grace. Common interpretation, this verse is often cited to argue that the law is no longer binding because believers are saved by grace, not adherence to the commandments. What it really means is this. Apostle Paul is not saying that Torah is abolished. Instead, he contrasts, he makes the difference between the two systems, under law, under grace. Under law, one where sin rules. Under grace, empowers believers to overcome sin. Sin is the transgression of the law. Yung condition ng human being. Under the law siya kasi palagi siya kinukumbig. Nagkasala ka, nagkasala ka, nagkasala. Therefore, kailangan mo ang grace ng Diyos empowers you to overcome sin. So how do you overcome sin? By obeying the law. Because transgression of the law is sin. It's very simple. They make it so complicated. They studied 2 semesters in Bible school just to find out what it means. And they have the wrong conclusion that there is no more law. Here it answers in 2 minutes. Ito po ba ay revelasyon o something's very hard to understand? Bakit? Kasi yung mga nag-i-interpret na condition na talaga sila na wala ng law. Siyempre, they will find a way to make it appear na wala ng law. Imposible nga walang law eh. Even science says that the whole universe is governed by law. The science yan. Law of gravity, law of physics, laws of biology, medical law, your body, everything. It's all law. Iba naman yun. Okay. What is sin? Sin na lang. How do you define sin? Ha?
Missing the more.
The violation of the law. Or King James Version, transgression of the law. Tagalog version, ang pagsalangsang sa kautusan. Paglabag sa kautusan ay kasalanan. Paglabag sa batas. Di ba, yung motor ko po, dahil matagal nakatambay, hindi po na-rehistro ng 3 taon dahil dito lang po ginagamit. So ngayon, ginagamit namin dahil may lag. So nalaman ko sa LTO, galing ako kahapon, pag nahuli po kayo na walang rehistro, 10,000 po yung penalty. Sabi ko, mag-rehistro na ako, sir. Magbayad na lang ako ng 1,000 kaysa mag-alanganin ako sa 10,000. Lugi ako. Ha? Hindi ka lang lugi. Parang kang kinakabahan. May checkpoint ba yan? May trap po ba yan? So, tuloy yung takbo mo parang hinahinay. Kaya si Maya, ngayon na may LTO, ang bilis ang takbo. Ibig sabihin, malaya ka. Confident ka na. Bahala ka, kahit may pulis dyan. Bakit? Diba? So, ngayon, subukan mo ang isang Christian na mag-reason out ka sa traffic enforcer. Sir, I'm no longer under the law.
Anong law?
Sabi niya, you're over the law. Okay. Kahapon po, galing kami sa LTO, alam mo yung sabi ng tao ron, alam mo, sir, may nahuli dito, matanda, hanap buhay niya yung tricycle, nagbebenta siya ng nahuli po siya, nakiusap po siya sa traffic, pero na-impound pa rin. Kawawa po yung matanda. So, kung may grasya yon, pakawalan siya. Matanda na ito. Pero it's still the law. The law excuses no one. Ngayon, pagdating sa spiritual definition, iba na. The law excuses everybody. Who made it that way? Sino ang nagturo niyan?
Satan.
Straight from Satan. It doesn't make sense. Okay. So under the law, Romans 6 is about freedom from sin's power, not freedom from obedience. Pag sinabing freedom from sin's power, is kinukumpara ni Pablo yung sitwasyon ng isang tao na makasalanan siya. Di ba? You broke the law, you broke the law, you broke the law, you broke the law. So under law, actually, wala siyang definite article eh. Hindi siya under the law. Sa Greek, oponomo. Oponomo, under Torah. Ngayon, because of translation, another issue is translation. Law is originally Torah. And Torah in Greek is nomos. So what is Torah? Teachings, instructions, guidance. So ilagay mo yung proper definition ng Torah instead of law. Kasi law talaga, pag sinabi mong law, mabigat eh. Pero translate mo sa tamang translation. You are no longer under instruction of law and sin and death. But you are under the instruction of teachings, guidance of grace. Because there are many kinds of instructions. Para bang pag sinabi mong law, ang minds ng Christian is ang kabuuan ng batas. Sir, mag-aaral ka, sir. And some Christian and some pastors does not even know what is Torah. Sa Bisaya, tuara. Mulat siya, tuara. So this refers to being under the penalty of condemnation of the Torah due to sin. Paul clarifies in the next verse, 6:15, that grace does not permit lawlessness. Shall we sin because we are not under the teachings, Torah, but under grace? Sabi niya, God forbid, no. Sabi niya sa verse 31 niya, chapter 3, verse 31, Romans, now that the faith has come, shall we nullify the Torah? Alam mo yung salitang nullify? Abolish. Sabi niya, no, we establish the Torah. Magulo to si Paul eh. Magulo ba si Paul? Hindi po, bright po si Paul. Bugado po yan. Yung nagbabasa may problema. Ang nagbabasa walang training sa law. So when you study the book of Galatians, mag-aral ka muna ng law, basic law, bago mo maintindihan si Paul. Kumbaga pang college na yung Galatians eh. Tapos wala kang background, so you'll come to the wrong conclusion. And the whole world was deceived. Kasi hindi sila bumalik sa kanilang Hebraic roots of their faith. Palibasa, anti-Semitic, anti-Jewish, anti-Israel. So what do you get from that? Genesis 12:4. I will bless those who bless Israel. I will curse those who curse. Nakikurse tuloy. Ang Pilipino po, hindi po exempted. Bumuboto tayo palagi laban sa Israel. Kasi ang gobyerno natin, wala ding alam sa Bible. Kung ano lang yung popular ng United Nations, sama-sama. Even in the time of Duterte, we still vote against Israel. So what do you expect? Inflation rate going up? I'm not a politician. In 7:12, the Torah is holy. The commandment is holy, righteous, and good. The issue is law-breaking sin, not the law itself. Grace allows us to repent and obey without the fear of condemnation. This is perfect. Sabi ng Hebrews chapter 8, it talks about the law in the law of Moses, the priesthood. Sinabi doon, is there a problem with the law? Tapos he quotes Jeremiah chapter 31, verse 31, where the Torah is mentioned to be written in the hearts of people. So, ibig sabihin, wala pong problema sa law. Ang problema is the hearts. Ang hearts ng tao. Ang sinful heart na hindi talaga siya. That's the problem with the sinful nature ng human being. Palagi niyang gusto labagin ang utos ng Diyos. Kaya iniisip ko po, sabi ko, umahaba na yung balpas ko. Pabahay ko pa kaya ito. Kasi mga rabay nagtuturo, pagpakinggan mo sila, buong-buo talaga yung concept ng Torah eh. Ibig sabihin, kung wala po yung pundasyon ng Torah, sigurado magkasala ka talaga. Isa sa pinag-aralan ko ngayon, kasi next to the Ten Commandments ko, sabi ko nga sa inyo, what I came to know na family purity is very important sa Judaism. It means ang mga kabanalan ng mga kabataan. Hello? If you study Judaism, they got it right eh. Tama po sila eh. Pinaghihiwalay ang babae sa lalaki. In the synagogue, magkahiwalay po. Bakit? Sinabi ng rabbi, bakit ba kaming humihiwalay sa aming asawa pag sa synagogue? Ayaw ba ng Diyos mag-pray kami mag-asawa? Bakit hiwalay? Sabi ng rabbi, this is 70-year-old rabbi ang nagpapaliwanag. Sabi niya, magkasama na kayo 6 na araw eh. So siya ba? Siya pa rin? Para bang idol mo na yata yung asawa mo. Gusto naman ng Diyos, mag-pray ka mag-isa, at siya at ikaw lang. Kasama na kayo eh. Sabi ko, it makes sense again. Tapos, bawal ang dating. Dating? Alam mo yung dating? Ano ibig sabihin ng dating? Dating, nagbibigay ng date. This date. Nagliligawan. Alam mo sa Judaism, sa Orthodox, may marriage arrangement. Alam na nila sino yung Orthodox Jewish community. Lahat ng dalaga, lahat ng binata ay nakalista na. Tapos, mamimili ka sa database. Ito, gusto mo? Ito yung profile niya, oh. Ito, ang edad niya, ganito. Ito yung nanay niya. Kaibigan ko nanay niya. Tapos, Torah keeper po sila. Ito po yung family business nila. Do you think you'll be interested? Okay. Another time. Tapos, mag-uusap lang kayo 3 times. After that will be marriage. No touch. Pure. Wala pong holding hands, wala pong kiss, wala po niya. And they are very successful. Hindi. Kasi po, intindihan nila yung pinakakabanalan eh. People today, I don't know if the Torah keepers understand this. Sabi ko, it's revolutionary. Sabi ko, no one believes in this anymore. Pero look at them. Their heritage is preserved.
Yes.
Alam mo,
Even secularly.
nung 4 na araw ako nagtrabaho, kasi pinagawa ko yung sasakyan ko, 4 araw kami pag-aruga. Naobserba ako sa karsada. Palaging may mga, ano ba yung mga kabataan na, yung may nabuntisan? Teenage pregnancy. According to Department of Health, 3 out of 10 teenagers got pregnant. Na siyempre, bata pa yung lalaki, walang responsibilidad. Iniwan. What is the future of our country if there's 1 million teenage pregnancy? There's 3 million. See? And it accumulates over time, over time, over time. We are on the verge of breaking our values and so, and you can observe that. Kaya nga sabi ng mga rabbi, you can learn Torah from the people na walang Torah. Maintindihan niyo po yun? Obserbahan mo lang yung takbo ng buhay nila. Maintindihan mo, mapalad pala ako. Minsan ako pag nagsiself-pity, naubos na ko yung pera ko doon. Paano ngayon ito? Iniisip ko. Pioneering sa Torah, daming nagawa. Pinakamapalad na tao pala ako sa buong mundo. Siguro sa 100 sa Pilipinas, ako na yung pinakamapalad siguro. Pagpatuloy natin ito tonight. Self-pity lang yun kasi minsan, sa sobrang dami mong responsibility. No? Ha? Pagod na.
Burn out.
Ha?
Burn out.
Kulang lang sa masaya.
So, summary, Paul upholds the Torah as righteous but acknowledges that we are not saved by the law's works alone. Grace helps believers walk in obedience, reflecting Yahweh's will, which aligns with His Torah. Faith alone justifies to reconcile us back to Yahweh, behaving righteously through obedience to instructions. Sanctify us. What is sanctify us? Holiness, sanctified, set you apart, make you different, sanctified for Yahweh. In fact, the most common basic prayer in Hebrew is Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kedishyano bemitzvotav. Kedishyano means sanctify us by your commandments. That means it makes you holy, it makes you different from other people. You're different. It makes you exclusive for Adonai. Kaya itong tinatawag na it's all about relationship. Relationship po yan eh. Torah is about a deep relationship. No? Okay. O, nakita ko na naman si Tessa dito. Keto ba? Handa na ba kayo magpakasakal? Ay, ilala ko na sila eh. We are the nearest neighbor here. Palagi na yung pinag-uusapan. Ang sabi ng Bible, confess your sins, shortcomings to one another. Diba? Kaysa naman sa iba mo ikwento, imamarites ka. Sa mga kapatid mo ikwento, may problema kami. Kami din, may problema din eh. Sinigawan ako ng asawa ko eh. Sinagawan ko din siya.
Sigawan na.
Hindi, sabi ko, sa interpretation lang yun. Sabi, it's a mystery. Mahirap talaga yun. I don't know si Marvin, may pag-usapan natin yung Marvin, the psychology of women. Yung how women thinks. What women wants. Meron din psychology, how the man thinks. Halimbawa ko, what I come to know is, ang love language, side issue lang to kasi may keto ba bukas? Keto means a marriage contract, ceremony bukas. So, ang love language ng lalaki, ang lalaki hindi masyadong madaldal. Ang babae, alam nyo na, they speak 5 times more words than men.
Not all.
Yung pipi dyan, maingay pa pipi na
Nakakabili nga sila eh.
Narinig ko pa dito eh. Anyway, ang lalaki, pag nag-uwi yan ng bigas, yun na yung love niya. Wala nang maraming paliwanag. Ito yung bigas. May nagtilis. Wala nang asukal. Ito yung asukal. I love you. Provide ko na. Hindi pa kontento yung babae. Kailangan lambingin mo pa. Siyempre. Madami silang needs. So, yun pa, doon palagi ang hindi nagkaintindihan, no? So, so maybe kulang lang sa ano to, seminar. So bakit ang tawag sa marriage contract sa Jewish is ketuba? It means mga usapin, mga terms and condition. Wala kang makita niyan sa Christian. It's legalistic. It's legal. It's stipulated in the contract. Alam mo yung salitang stipulated? It is written. What is expected of the husband, what is expected of the wife. And the breaking of the expectation, there is consequences. Kaya nga pinag-uusapan natin last time, no? Judges and officers. Actually, tutuloy natin ngayon yan. So, kung anyway, tuloy na tayo. Masyadong maraming pasakali. Balik tayo. So, ito po yung topic talaga natin. Do you not know that the saints will judge the world? If the world is judged by you, are you unworthy to judge small affairs? Do you know that you will judge the angels? You have worldly affairs to be settled. And you put men of bad reputation in the congregation on the judgment seat. They're not qualified. So, sinasummarize ko lang, no? Basta you read the whole text. Settle a dispute between brother and a brother. A brother goes to the court with brother, and this before unbelievers. Sabi niya, indeed, then this is already a failure with you all, that your lawsuits with yourselves, that you have lawsuits with yourself. Why not instead be wrong? Why not instead be defrauded? Ibig sabihin, why not tanggapin nyo na lang yung kamalian nyo? Kaysa, dalhin nyo pa sa husgado, sa prosecutor, sa kapitan, na unbeliever. Ang sinasabi ni Paul, gumawa kayo ng sarili nyong hukuman. Hukuman ng mga Torah-abiding citizen. Which is, dararapat. Okay? Tagalogin natin. Ako, nawala yung Tagalog. Kayo ay huhukom. In fact, sinabi ni Yeshua sa 12 disciples, do you know that you will judge the 12 tribes of Israel? The question is, mga kapatid, if this is the destiny of the saints, then how can you be a judge without knowing the law?
That's right.
Meron po akong kaklase, kaedad lang po siya. Mas matanda po siya 2 taon sa akin. Judge po ngayon sa Zamboanga. Siya po ay si Judge Eduardo Ledesma. Judge po, bata pa. So, nag-aral po siya ng abogado, naging judge, pero talagang likas po na matalino. Siya po talaga pinakamatalino sa klase kahit noon. Pero, sabi ko, hindi posible. Nag-usap po kami nung alumni association. Nag-share ako, sabi ko, Judge, di ba, bago yung law, meron pang nauna dyan. It's the Torah, the Jewish law. Nag-agree yung isang abogado, nagkaklase din namin. Yung judge, Puro tradisyon lang yan. Yung sabi niya, puro tradisyon lang yan. Ito mainit na ako. Ibig sabihin, huwag ka na magtalo. Judge yun eh. Ikaw mananalo doon. Ibig sabihin, ang pananaw niya, hindi, inaaral niya yung law ng Pilipinas, pero hindi yung law ng Diyos. Kasi sa atin, naniniwala tayo, ang pinakamataas na law is the law of God. That's the point. So, principle. Judges and officers shall make thee in all thy gates, which Yahweh your Elohim give you throughout your tribes. They shall judge the people with your just judgment. Okay. Maghahalal ka sa iyo ng mga hukom, ng mga pinuno sa lahat ng iyong mga pintuang daan na ibinibigay ng Panginoon mong Diyos ayon sa iyong lipi, tribo, at sila'y hahatol sa bayan ng matuwid na paghatol. So there you are. There is election. There is democracy in the Torah. You elect people that are qualified to judge. And within your gates, ibig sabihin, sa bawat lungsod, sa bawat pintuang daan, according to the tribe. Kaya po, lahat po ng mga Messianic group, Torah keepers sa Pilipinas, pinapasyalan ko kasi it's one of my vision is to unite all the Torah keepers in the Philippines. And how do we do that? I don't know. I'm just making friends with all of them. Huwag ninyong pipilipitin ang katarungan at huwag kayong magtatangi ng tao ni tatanggap ng sul, pagkat ang sul ay bumubulag sa matatalino at nagpapahamak sa mga taong matuwid. Ang katarungan lamang ang iyong paarin-alin. Kaya ay mabubuhay kayo ng matagal sa lupaing binigay ko sa inyo. So pag may katarungan, haba ang iyong buhay. Sabi rito. So defining law. The law is the expression of God's will. God's law serves as the standard for our conduct. Ayun. Sabi ni Yeshua, what is the greatest commandment in the law, in the Torah? Sabi ni Yeshua, the greatest is love your Elohim with all your heart, with your soul, with all your resources, mind and strength, and love your neighbor as yourself. So the law is compatible with love.
Amen.
May problema ba? Sinabi ni Jesus. Ni Rabbi Jesus. Alam mo, naawa ako nung Huwebes, pumunta ako sa Banawe, bumili ako ng pyesa, sumakay ako ng LRT. Ang dami naka-uniforme mga kabataan, mga teenager. Pagod na pagod, may Nazareno dito sa noo, may mga banner gano'n, may mga t-shirt, may mga jacket. Nagkipag doon sa Nazareno, sa Quiapo. Sabi ko, ano na lang ang future ng mga bata nito? Kung tinuturo nilang Diyos, yung kulot na maitim, na mahabang buhok.
Hindi makapagsalita.
Ha?
Hindi makatayo. Lagi nakalukot.
Hindi lumaki.
Yun.
Hanggang ngayon,
So nakakaawa po, sabi ko, hindi ko na alam gagawin ko, Panginoon, bahala na. Hindi ko na kaya to. Just imagine how many millions.
ilang taon nang maliit yun.
So, tingnan nyo to, napakagandang illustration to. Parang hanger, oh. Sabi ni Yeshua, the whole law hang. Hanger eh. Shema, love your neighbor, 10 utos. Ang 10 utos ay nasa loob sa kanya ang 613 commandments. Ang tanong, inaaral ba yan? Hindi po. Sira ulo lang, nag-aaral yan, katulad ko.
Hindi na nila alam yung
Opo, yung mga nasisiraan ng ulo, katulad ko, yun lang mga nag-aaral dyan. Hindi, yun ang titingin nila eh. Isip ko, this is my only chance to become great in the kingdom. And I want that. It's an honor, Adonai. If you want me to qualify me to be great in your kingdom, who teach and do the Torah, sabi ko, what an honor this calling is. Sayang naman kung I will stop studying it. I've been doing this for 19 years. And until ngayon, habang tumatagal, sabi ko, ito lang pala yung nalalaman ko pala. Kunti pa. Kasi napaka-vast ang sakop ng law, no? So qualification of an elder. So who is qualified to be an elder? Man of good report. Igalang ninyo ang mga matakutin sa Diyos, ang matatanda. Sino po yung matanda dito? Ha? Pag medyo masisilaw ka na sa mga ulo na mga buhok namin, yan, matanda na yan.
Take out your hat.
Ha?
Take out your hat.
Yung may pinagtatandaan. May tumatanda kasi walang pinagtatandaan. Ayun. Ibig sabihin, yung matured sa word ng Diyos. Mature, tapos maayos yung kanyang pamamalakad sa buhay niya. Isaiah chapter 10, verse 1 to 2. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees, that write grievousness which they prescribe. Kawawa ang mga gumagawa ng di makatarungang batas at mga nagbibigay ng maling kautusan. Sabi ng Panginoon, kung babaguhin niyo yung kautusan, kawawa kayo. Do not respect people in judgment. So, keep thee far from false matter and the innocent. Okay, simplify natin. Okay, nandiyan naman sa mga English speaker, basahin nyo sa English. Since Tagalog tayo, mag-Tagalog tayo. Huwag ninyong pagkakaitan ang katarungan ang mahihirap. Huwag kayong magbibintang ng walang katotohanan. Huwag ninyong hahatulan ng kamatayan ng isang taong walang kasalanan. Paparusahan ko ang sinumang gagawa ng gayon. See? Huwag kayong tatanggap ng sul sapagkat ang sul ay bumubulag sa tao at kinahapi naman ng walang sala. So huwag nyo, do not forward justice to the needy. Since the Torah is about God's rule, God's government, God's kingship, ayaw niya yung may naapi. And when I was studying about the history of law, nagsimula sa Greek. Sa Greek pala, sa unang panahon, the law only applies to the elite people. Mga elite lang. Pagdating sa mga common na tao, they treat them as nothing. Kaya no wonder, sa democratic system, sino ba yung nahalal sa mga pwesto? Mga mahihirap ba? Di po, mga makapangyarihan, mga mamapepera, mga bilyonaryo. Buti kung katulad niya ni King David na dating nag-aalaga lang ng mga tupa. See? So, kumbaga, 2,000 years na po nagaraan, ang haba na po na nilakbay ng history ng tao. Pero ang Torah po, alam mo bakit may tribulation? Bakit may hahatol sa atin sa tribulation hanggang sa pagdating ng hukom ni Yeshua hanggang sa Day of Atonement Judgment? Because the whole world is under God's judgment. The whole world is guilty of violating the 10 commandments. You're talking about the whole world, mga kapatid, not just the Philippines. Tuwing ang batas ng Diyos ay hindi binibigyan ng kahalagahan, ang hatol po ay nandiyan na. Sabi rito, justice is turned back, righteousness stands far off, for truth has stumbled in the street. I don't need that. Why? Ang galing naman asawa ko. Bigyan ng ano yan.
That's love.
Bigyan ng dalawang
Jacket.
Ayaw kanyang madakuan.
Sabi rito, itinakwil namin ang katarungan at pinaghari ang kalikuan. Niruyukan namin ang katapatan at itinago ang katotohanan. Nakita ito ni Yahweh at nalungkot dahil sa pagkawala ng katarungan. Nakita niya na wala kahit isang nagmamalasakit sa mga api. Ibig sabihin, wala na. This is thousands of years ago, but it still describes the condition of our society today. What is truth? The sum of all the commandments is truth. Your Torah is truth. Psalms 119, verse 142. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Woe to those who call evil good, good evil, then put darkness for light, light for darkness, and put bitter for sweet, and sweet for bitter. This verse is a warning against moral relativism, the refining God's standards, the confusion and deception that results from abandoning God's truths. Tagalog, kawawa kayo mga baliktad ang isip. Ang mabuting gawa ay minamasama. Ang masama naman ay minamabuti. Ang kaliwanagay inaharing dilim at ang kadilimang liwanag ang turing. Mapait ang abdo, ang sabi matamis, at ang matamis ay minapapait. Kawawa rin kayo nang may akalang kayo ang marunong at matatalino ang iyong palagay sa inyong sarili. Alam mo, pag iba talaga yung salita ng Diyos eh. Ang pagsunod sa commandments, di po ba mabuti? Yes. Tinatawag nilang walang kwenta. Walang kwenta ba yung sumunod ka sa tamang dietary law? It's a blessing. Walang kwenta ba yung sumunod sa Sabat? It's a blessing. Walang kwenta ba yung sumunod sa 7th festival? You cannot imagine how joyful the Feast of Tabernacle is. It's a blessing. Tinatawag nila, walang kwenta. Sabi ng Diyos, kawawa kayo. Akala nyo marunong kayo dahil graduate kayo sa Bible school?
It's nonsense.
Si Judge Alvin na ba rin, professor ng Bible school ng maraming taon. Nonsense daw po.
justice.
Kaya nga nag-resign na po siya eh. Siya na po yung susunod na justice. Sorry. So, biro lang po yan ha. Hindi natin inaangat yung sarili natin. Pinapractice lang natin yung mga inaharang natin dito. Bakit sinabi? The saints will judge the world. Kaya pala, ang mga anghel naiinggit sa tao. What is man that you are mindful of him? Ang mga anghel sa langit ay nagbabantay lang sa tao, sa mga saints. Kaya madalas po marami sa atin mga may near-death experience, patay na tayo dapat sa mga aksidente.
Marami.
Kailan lang kami? Kahapon lang. Motor ang gamit namin. Nag-overtake yung badya, ganon. Sa lubong? Pag ganon, may driver ba na ganon? Split second. Sabi ko, magaling ang Panginoon. Kung wala kang Panginoon, yan ang dahilan. May benefits ang paglilingkod sa Diyos. May benepisyo po. Malaki. Iba yung may Panginoon. So I command your judges that hear cases between your brothers, judge fairly between a man and his brother or the outsider with him. So sa justice system ng Diyos, di ba sa court manunumpa ka? Oh. Ito ganyan yan, manunumpa ka sa Biblia. The judges are to investigate thoroughly if indeed the witness is a false witness and is testified falsely against his brother. So, ang proseso nito mga kapatid, kung sundin natin pala yung procedure nito, is kung may complaint pala, kung legalistic ka nito, kung may complaint pala, ganito pala yan. O brother, sister, may reklamo kayo sa isa't isa. Kung gusto mo palang gawing formal do, sulat ka ng affidavit. Kung ano yung procedure sa court. Sulat ka ng affidavit, ito yung complaint ko, ito. Puspirmahan mo, swear under oath. Ibig sabihin, yun na yung katotohanan na yun. So, hindi pwede yung pabago-bago yung statement. Oh, legal. So, yung naman kinomplain, ay hindi ganun yan. Okay, sulat mo rin yung testimonya mo. Swear under oath. Ibig sabihin, huwag kayo magbago ng statement, yun na yan. Tapos, basahin ng judge yung statement niya, basahin. Tapos hearing. Sa hearing, malalaman. Aalamin na kung ano yung mga batas. Tapos magkaroon ng judge. Wala pa tayong ganung sistema, no?
Lapit na.
Oo. Sa ngayon, ano pa lang, na kwento-kwentuhan. Okay na yan. Love covers a multitude of sin. Shortcut. Pero what if you are judging the whole community? Hindi pwede. What if you're judging the whole tribes? Di ba? So, this is why sabi ko, kailangan pala to. Alam mo doon sa Goshen, pag nandun yung mga tribo, mga kalalakihan, pag sinabi mong balaod, naiintindihan nila. Kasi sa tribo, batas ang pinapairan. Palaging nasa isip nila, multa ka. Mamulta ka. Takot sila sa multa. Makasunto ka ng tao, 2 kambing ang bayad mo, multa. Ha? Pasunto ka na lang. Maraming papaita ka. Kung marami kang kambing, palagi ang usapan doon, multa, may multa. Takot sila sa tribal council kasi ang sistema palaging multa. So, multa mo, 10,000 plus 1 kabayo. Ayos na, problema, pirma, ayun. May benepisyo yung agrabyado
Parang may corporation.
So, that's how they settle things. Huh?
Wala yung ngipin.
He judges the world in righteousness, governs the people justly. The men will say there really is a reward for the righteous. There really is a God who judges on earth. Okay. Sabi rito, 1 Chronicle 23, verse 4. Of this, there are 24,000 to oversee the house of Adonai, 6,000 officers and judges. Marami pong job opening sa kaharian ng Diyos, mga kapatid. Kung wala kang trabaho, Malaki po ang sweldo ng judge.
Wow.
Alam mo, ang maganda po sa may Torah, kasi, I realize mga kapatid, life is short.
Yes.
Probably, may mga kaklase po kayo, if you're age 50 above, or 40 above, may mga kaklase ka kakilala na namatay na ng maaga. Di ba?
Yes.
Parang that's the end of their world. Di ba? So, ako, pag umuwi sa Zamboanga, my home province, palagi, uy, yung classmate natin sa ganun, namatay na. Napansin ko yung namamatay, yung mga salbahe. Ito yung pinakasalbahe, patay na. Ito yung mga mababisyo na patay na. Sila yung maiksi ang buhay. Pero yung matitino, nandun sa opisina, nagtatrabaho. Uy, so, anyway, 6,000, during the time of Solomon, 6,000 officers and judges. Gano'ng karami yan? So, ibig sabihin, kinontrol. Hindi po. Siguro sa buong kaharian na siguro yan.
Israel pa lang yun. Israel pa lang yan.
So,
4,000.
ibig sabihin, required talaga ang Torah sa bawat tao doon. At yung may mas maalam sa Torah ay mga tinatawag na officers. Pag ang judge ay nasa 50 ang edad pataas. Pag 70 ka na, kumbaga, Sanhedrin ka na. Kuhan ka na, senador. Senador. Pero ngayon, ang ginagawa nating senador, action star, magaling mag-tumbling, marinig umarte, muporma. Yan ang binoboto natin, mga walang alam sa batas. Bakit? It's by popularity. Hindi ubra yan sa Israel. Sa Israel, by the Torah yan. So sa Millennial King, sa mundo kasi iba pasikatan Sa Millennial Kingdom mga kapatid, ganito na ang sistema. So guess what? Sino yung mag-qualify dyan? Kami naman, sir. Tapos na yung panahon nyo Marami pong trabaho sa Millennial Kingdom. Mayroon pong tinatawag na Shabbat Police.
Ayun.
Yeah. Hulihin mo yung mga hindi rin sa Shabbat. Dahil pong trabaho yan, Arlan, mga security officers na bilhin yan. Hulihin nyo mga kuwan. Ayaw mag-Shabbat. Marami trabaho rin to. Hindi naman lahat judge Sa kasaysayan ng buong Israel, lahat po ng judges ay lalaki. Yan na naman tayo. Discrimination na naman to. Human rights violation na naman to. Gender equality. Noon sa Cubao, LRT station, naghanap ako ng CR. May nakita akong CR. Gender sensitive CR. Tsaka yan para bang pwede sa lahat?
All gender.
Oo, parang gano'n. Gender neutral pala. Gender neutral siya. Dati walang gano'n. Kasi nga, pinakonsidera yung mga tinatawag na a woman traps in a man's body. Yung iba naman, a man trapped in a woman's body. Alam niya na yun. So, si Deborah po ay kaisa-isang babae na naging judge na proud yung mga kababayan. Si Deborah nga Judge.
Iisa lang yun.
Isa lang yun.
Wala siyang ano.
At kung basahin niyo po ang
Yeah, under the tree.
Ang opisina ni Deborah is under the palm tree. Notary public lang po yun. He judges between the notary. Wala pong opisina. Ibig sabihin, independent siya. May sarili siyang influensya. Pero kinilala siyang judge. Pero hindi siya nang lamang doon sa mga judge talaga na totoo. No? Kumbaga, notary public. Yung pa nakita mo sa tabi-tabi yan. Piansadora. Dito sa Kabading, marami din mga piansadora. Ayan, mga insurance. Pero judge between cases, mga lalaki po yun. Hindi po discrimination yun. It's just the system ng Diyos. Sistema po ng Diyos yun. May dahilan ng Diyos. Kasi maaari po, ang babae hindi nilagay. Make no mistake magaling na abogado yung mga babae. Mga judge, diba? Miriam Defensor. Matatalino po, meron. Sa sistema ng mundo, the woman can achieve, greater things. Pero sa sistema ng Torah, hindi inaalaw ng Diyos. For some reason, we don't know. It's just like that. Hindi po tinatawag, it's just the system. Kaya sabi sa inyo, pagdating sa eleksyon, ang nagbumoboto po, puro mga laking elders. Pwede siyang ma-influensya ng asawa niya, pero on their own, they cannot vote. Sa monarchical system. So, you may call it discrimination against women. Kasi po, tingnan nyo sa Amerika ngayon. Alam to ng mga taga-Canada. Alam nila yan. Diba? Yung dinalaw na. Lahat ng trabaho ng lalaki, kayang gawin ng babae. Sabi nila, feminism, ang tawag yan? Mabuti ba ang naging resulta? Hindi po mabuti ang naging resulta. Wala nang... ang nangyari po, ayaw na nila magpamilya. Nagiging lesbian na lang. We don't want men anymore. Ayaw na lang. Kasi nga, the spirit of para mag-competition, hindi po ganun yun eh. God created male and female, different kinds of people, a different kind of person, with different kinds of function and purposes. Yung function ko, hindi kaya gawin ni Florence. Yung function niya, hindi ko rin kaya gawin. We're unique. But you put us together, we can accomplish God's purpose. And that is a mystery. Mystery yan. Hindi mo alam, no? Mahiwaga talaga ang Panginoon. May dahilan ang Panginoon. Okay.
Seriously and miraculously.
2 Chronicles 19:6. Dapat kayo maging tapat sa inyong tungkulin bilang mga hukom. Bibigyan ninyo ng kasiyaan ay hindi ang tao, kundi si Yahweh na kasama ninyo sa inyong paghatol. Matakot kayo kay Yahweh. Maging maingat kayo sa paghatol. Alalahanin ninyo, hindi ikatutuwa ni Yahweh ang yurakan ang katarungan. At mayroon kinikilingan sa suhulan. Pinili niya ang mga taong ito sa ngalan ni Yahweh ay humatol sa mabibigat na usapin ng mga tao. Supreme Court na po ito. Gagampanan ninyo ang inyong tungkulin ng buong sikap at magkaroon kayo ng takot kay Yahweh. Ito ay gagawin ninyo. So, ang bibigyan nyo ng kasiyahan ay hindi ang tao, kundi si Yahweh na kasama sa inyong hatol. So, anong gamitin na batas dito? Torah. Kaya nga the Torah is guidance, teaching, instruction ni Yahweh. Judgment. Nobody talks about this. Sa panahon ni Ezra, ito po yung sinabi. Yamang pinagkalooban ka ng kaalaman, pumili ka ng mga tao may malawak na kaalaman at sila ang itatalaga mong hukom at tagapagmamahala upang maturuan ninyo na walang nalalaman sa kautusan. Sino mang hindi sumunod sa utos ng Diyos at ng hari ay lalapatan ng alimang mga parusang ito. Kamatayan, pagkatapon, pagsasamsam sa ari-arian o pagkabilanggo. Ano yan? Grasya ba yan? Si Yahweh nagsabi. So, maaaring sabihin mo, sa Old Testament yan, okay, sir. Sa Millennial Kingdom lang tayo mag-usap. Kung makasama tayo. Sabi rito, turuan ninyo ang mga walang nalalaman sa kautusan. Sinong pastor ngayon na narinig nyo nagtuturo ng kautusan? Wala. Sila po ay tinatawag ng mga Hittites and Kohathites. Ano yung Hittites at Kohathites?
Walang batas.
Ang ayaw nilang batas, ang gusto lang nila tights. Kaya lahi sila ng Kohathites. Wala na ng batas, pero nagda-tight. Galing sa batas yung tight. Ano ka ba, sir?
Iba naman yun, sir.
Hindi, kasi sila Hittites. Mga Hittites. Oh? Sino yung tuturuan mo? Mga walang nalalaman sa kautusan. Kung yan ang future, mga kapatid. Okay. So, sa book of Isaiah, may binanggit dito ang mga kalalagyan ng mga nagre-rebelde sa kautusan. Yung kumakaon ng baboy, sabi rito, ay magwawakas. They will come to an end together. Their worm will not die. Their fire will not be quenched. And they will be a horror to all flesh. And they will look at the corpses of the people who rebelled against Yahweh. Mga ayaw sa kautusan, simula sa mga gustong kumain ng baboy, sabi niya, all together, they will come together to an end. Their worm will not die. Alam mo, napatunayan ng siyensa na meron pong uod na hindi namamatay sa baboy. Yung kahit pakuluan mo, kahit iprito mo, sunugin mo, ihawin mo, ito'y tinatawag na trichina worm. At tuwing na in-experiment nila yan, mga patay na na tao, yung corpses na, nandyan pa yung trichina worm, buhay pa yun. Totoo talaga sinabi ng Biblia. Kahit anong depensa mo niyan, sinabi ni Yahweh yan, wala kayong magawa. Ito pa, Isaiah 65. Kanina 66 yun eh.
Patay na, pwebo.
These people provoke me continually to my face, sacrificing in the garden, burning incense on bricks, sitting among graves, spending the night in cave tombs, eating swine's flesh, and the broth of detestable things in their pot. Nilagang baboy. Sabi nung na-experience ako dati, isang kapatira na gano'n, nag-fasting and prayer. Sabi niya, Brother Ike, bakit miserable ang buhay ko? Kapapasting ko lang ng 3 days eh. So ngayon sis, ano yung break mo? Sabaw ng baboy. Sabi ko, naawa naman ako. So dami-dami ng pwede niya. Bago lang kasi yun. Tingnan nyo, sabi rito, sa mga altar ng pagano, nagsusunog sila ng piling kamanyang. Pagsapit sa gabi, pupunta sila sa mga libingan. At sinasangguni ang mga espiritu ng mga namamatay. Sila ay kumakain ng karne ng kagumal-gumal na baboy. Mga kahayupang kabuhayan. Meron akong dinaanan sa Cavite na veterinary, yung veterinaryo, mga kahayupang kabuhayan, veterinary clinic. Mga kapatid, Isaiah 65, 66, this talks about bago mag-millennial kingdom. Bago daw mag-millennial kingdom, magkaroon ng hukom. Huhusgahan yung mga rebelde. Ibig sabihin, during the tribulation, just before the rapture, the resurrection, after the tribulation. Hindi po pre-trib. Ang sabi dito, so, yun sa Isaiah 65, 66. Dito naman, sa mga obedient naman, sabi rito, I will send survivors from them to Tarshish, to the distant islands. Diretso na natin ha. Who have not heard my fame or seen my glory, then I will declare my glory among the nations. Then I will bring all the kinsmen from all the nations as an offering to Adonai. On my holy mountain Jerusalem, says Adonai, just as Beni Israel bring their grain offering in a clean vessel to the house of Adonai, I will also take some of them as priests and for Levites. For just as the new heavens and the new earth, which will make, will endure before me, this is the declaration of Adonai Yahweh, your descendants and your name will endure. It will come to pass from one new moon to another new moon, Rosh Chodesh, from one Shabbat to another Shabbat, all flesh, all humans will come to bow down before me. Just before the millennial kingdom, God will reward the Torah keeper. Sabi niya, some of them from Tarshish, I will make them Levites and priests.
Sama na si Georgie dyan.
Amen.
Hindi, tingnan niyo mabuti. Tingnan niyo mga kapatid, ha? They will bring the grain offering in a clean vessel. Ano yung grain offering? The first fruits of barley. They will offer it to Adonai on the new moon, in the Rosh Chodesh, in the proper biblical calendar. Naintindihan niyo po ba? They will celebrate the Shabbat. They will celebrate the feast. They will see the sighted moon, new moon. From one Shabbat, from one feast to another feast, iaayos na ng Diyos ang kalendaryo. And some, ito po, sabi nila, Tarshish daw ay Pilipinas. That's another teaching by God's Culture, Joseph Dumont. The same conclusion they have. I will take some of them from Tarshish. I will make them priests and for Levites. Bakit? Marunong sa Torah. It's an honor. If you are not a Jew, then if it's God who ordained you, not the rabbi, then it's a great honor to be a priest and a Levite. Pero sabi ni Adonai, ito mga Pilipino, pero dahil sila po ay karapat-dapat, I will ordain them to be priests in my holy mountain, in my holy temple. Ngayon, may Pilipino na sa holy temple. May Pilipino na sa Jerusalem na nag-aalay ng handog kayo. That has never happened in the history of the temple.
Nakasentrate.
So, si Dencio, pwede po qualified mo niya. Bakit? Eh, kalbo eh. Priest, mga priest kasi. Marunong ka sa Torah. So, ibig sabihin, mag-aaral tayo. Di ba, first fruits? Di ba, tinuruan tayo ni Dumo ng first fruits? O, yun, sabi niya. They will
Reviewin natin.
grain offering. Dadalhin mo daw yung offering. Marunong ka, kasi kung hindi mo alam, hindi ka magdadala niyan. Okay, nag-chat po kami ni Dumon. Ay, ang initial po plan, sa April kasi si Sister Romana Perez, no? Kilala niyo naman, no? Nag-organize siya ng at least mga 100 pastors sa North Luzon. Kinuusap niya yung mga leader doon. So dahil napuntahan naman dati yun, pero wala lang follow-up, no? So, dahil may ganyang move, ako naman anytime, nandyan lang po yung mga contact na. So, initially, ang plano, sa rabbinical feast, kasi ang sighted moon feast could be as early as February 14, Valentine's Day. So, mga pula po yung ating mga costume, no? Hindi, tatawagin na talaga tayong kulto niyan, pag pula. February 14 kasi ang estimated, Pesach.
Basta may rush ko din.
Pero kung wala yung barley, March 14. Pero yung rabbinical is April, something there, no? So, sa rabbinical feast, yun po maganda itaon si Dumon para, kasi sa Kabanatuan, nag-request naman sila ng Passover among the Christian leaders. Na si Dumon ang guest speaker, something like that. And we can also join mga ministries sa Manila in their feast. That's the plan. Initially, that's the plan. Para alam nyo na may nangyayari po sa mga plano na ang tura po ay ipataguyong natin. So, mag-alas 6 na po. So, ituloy natin ito. This is the great synagogue in Jerusalem. This is the seat of the chief rabbinate of Israel. Ito po ngayon ang nagde-decide sa religious court ng Israel. This is under directly sa Prime Minister ng Israel. Nandyan po ang pinaka-Sanhedrin po nila. This is higher than the civil courts. Kita nyo? Yan ang pagkaiba. Israel, hindi nila eh. Mga rabbi po nag-oversee nito. Halimbawa, yung mga marriage, mga law, halimbawa, mga divorce, pag divorce sa civil courts, pag hindi in-approve ng rabbi, wala din. So, ibig sabihin, mas mataas ang religious court. So, only in Israel. Yung basta yung mga kaso, kasi alam mo, hanggat may tao, may kaso. May mga problema yan na lahat ng klaseng problema, sari-sari. I-decide yan ng mga rabbi. So, therefore, talagang ang Torah, siya talaga yung batas na mas mataas. So, yun ang passion natin, no, na aralin. Ano ba to? So, okay, sabi rito, the rabbinical courts are part of Israel's official legal system. According to the rabbinical courts, jurisdiction, marriage and divorce, since 1953, lahat po ng Jewish couples, residents of Israel, Jewish halakha, rabbinical under the law of the Torah. The rabbinical courts operates according to the law of the Torah, which is the Jewish law. Okay? So, okay, meron pa tayo few minutes. Israel's political system, the prime minister, the executive, the president, the government, the Knesset, legislative, and the people. Okay? Sa Israel yan. Elects every 7 years. Sa Pilipinas na lang tayo. Ay, hindi makikita, no? Executive, legislative, judiciary. Okay. So, sa judiciary, nandyan po yung Supreme Court, under sa Supreme Court, nandyan po yung Court of Appeals, Sandigan Bayan, Court of Tax Appeal. Under sa Court of Appeal, nandyan po yung Regional Trial Court, 12 courts. Under sa Regional Trial Courts, nandiyung Metropolitan Trial Courts, Municipal Trial Courts in cities, Municipal Trial Courts in the province. May special court po ang Sharia District Courts. Kasi marami po Muslim, ilang million Muslim, so meron po sila. So the Constitution of the Philippines provides an umbrella to the Sharia, to the Muslim. Kasi there are how many million? 18 million Muslim. Oh. So kung ang Torah 10 million na, bibigyan na tayo ng sarili nating court. Pero I don't think that will happen in our lifetime. That will be in the millennium. The state has to be subject to God's higher law. Okay. So yan, so iba na po to, no? Ibang, ito, I will end up with this one. Isaiah 33 verse 22. For Yahweh is our judge, and Yahweh is our lawgiver, and Yahweh is our king. He will save us.
Hallelujah.
Yan po ang kingdom mindset. Wala po akong binanggit na denominasyon, sekta. We are all under God's rule. That's our contract with Yahweh. The Torah is guidance, instructions for our benefits, mga kapatid. No? It's the people who will benefit from God's law. So, tayo po tayong lahat. Shabbat Shalom. I hope this will increase our learning. And alam mo, introduction pa lang ito. This is so vast because we are being trained to become judge, officers, servant leaders in the kingdom of God. Amen. So, the Torah, is it law or grace or law and grace? Law and grace. Balance po yan. Hindi po pwede magkasalungat yan. It's always balance, complementary to each other. The commandments are compatible with God's love. Okay, Shabbat Shalom. So, salamat sa Panginoon. So, this will be uploaded to my YouTube channel, Brother Ike or Torah Bible School.